What's up, logical people? This is Amar back with a real-time aptitude test for software job placement. This is a 20-minute test with 30 questions, so be fast and be accurate. Let's begin the test now. If 1st August 2010 is Sunday, what day will be on 1st August 2012? Feel free to pause the video for every question to try on your own. You can divide the number of days by 7 and then check for the remainder. But here is a shortcut. If 1st August is Sunday, then in the next year, the same date will occur on the next day, that is Monday. Similarly, the same date in the next year will fall on the next day, that is Tuesday. However, 2012 is a leap year with an extra day. So this date gets shifted to the next day, that is Wednesday. Next, you'd need to figure out if the two terms given are same or different. Here we can see an extra letter S at the end, so they are different. Next, we have a similar question. The letter T is capitalized on the right side, so they are different. Next, you need to choose the next picture from the given options. We can see two new lines are getting connected in every next picture. So the correct answer would be option C. Next, it's a data sufficiency question where to answer the question you would need to check which of the given statements are sufficient. In the code language, what is the code for fat? Given statements are: in a code language, she is fat is written as he ra ka. In the same code language, fat boy is written as Raka with Ka. The common term between the two statements is fat and the common coded term is Ra. So statements 1 and 2 together are sufficient. Next, choose the correct answer. A trader charges 20% above the cost price. If he discounts 10% of the bill for cash payment, then his gain will be how much? Suppose the cost price is ₹100. The billing price would be 120 as the trader is charging 20% on the cost price. Out of this 120 rupees, he gives a discount of 10%. So the discount amount would be 12 rupees. The customer would pay 120 minus 12, that is 108 rupees. The actual cost price is 100 and the final selling price is 108. So he gains a profit of 8%. By the way, I'll be arranging several real-time aptitude tests very soon. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel. There will be amazing gifts for the winners. Next, select the best choice. A train running at a speed of 60 km per hour crosses a pole in 9 seconds. What is the length of the train? Simple formula: speed is distance divided by time. We need to calculate the length, which is the distance in this context. So length is equal to speed multiplied by time. The length of the train would be several meters and the given time is in seconds. So convert the speed into meter per second. We get the answer as 150 meters. Next, it's a wonderful question. It's showing various faces of a cube and we need to note down the adjacent faces and choose the option that shows the correct adjacent faces. The first thing to note is that we are already given 5 faces of the cube. Only one face is hidden. So the answer cannot be option B or option C as they both have 2 new objects, whereas we need only one new object as we already know 5 faces. Another important thing, this face with 1 is adjacent to 3, 4, 2 and plus. And on a cube, a face can be adjacent to only 4 other faces. So from the options, we can eliminate option A, D and E because the face 1 cannot be adjacent to any other face apart from the given 4 faces. Now we are left with only one option, that is F, which is eventually the correct answer. So the remaining phase has this weird looking object. Next, in a certain coding system, office is coded as 422168 and serial is coded as 683857. How will you code Claire? Since it's a limited time test, generally they will not shuffle the coded digits. So C is 6, L is 7, A is 5, I is 1, R is 3. 67513. So it's option B. Next, let me tell you something about this. If you have a picture in a bigger grid format such as 3 by 3, only focus row-wise or column-wise and try to find the pattern. In the first row, we can see the arrow at the center rotates 90 degrees and comes back to the previous position. The same thing can be observed in the second row. Hence, we need to look for a picture that has an upward arrow. There is only one such picture. That's option F. You can cross-verify with other objects, such as this circle. It changes the edge clockwise. So the circle should come down to the bottom edge of the square. Next, choose the best answer. The average age of a group of 12 students is 20 years. If 4 more students join the group, the average age increases by 1 year. The average age of the new students is. Let me show you a shortcut. We have 4 new students helping the previous 12 students to increase the average. So each new student is helping previous 3 students. Focus on one small group. They all will be achieving 21 years average age. But originally the previous 3 students had 20 years of average age. So these 3 additional years were contributed by the new student. So his average age must be 24 years. So it's option A. Next, once again we have a data sufficiency question. Who among L, N, F, G and Q was the first to reach the college? Statement 1 says F reached before L and G, but not before Q, who was not the first to reach. So if Q was not the first to reach, it must be N. So we got the answer with the first statement itself. Now the next statement says N reached before F and G, but L reached after F. Well, it doesn't give any clarity about who reached the college first. So it's option A, that the statement 1 is alone sufficient. Next, pause if you want. The picture on the left gets rotated clockwise by 90 degrees with an additional branch introduced. So if we rotate this picture clockwise by 90 degrees with an additional branch introduced, we get the pick in option D. Next, same or different. They seem to be having exactly the same spelling. In a certain coding system, house is coded as 25310 and leasing is coded as 9061784. How will you code geese? It's simple. G is 4, then EAS have values 061 and E is 0. So it's option A, 40610. Next, if you check row-wise, the third row has the arrows in the center. So option E and F are eligible for the answer as they have the arrow in the center. In each row, the arrow rotates 90 degrees, then flips horizontally. So the next pick should have the opposite direction of this black arrow, and only option E satisfies this condition. In a certain coding system, back is coded as 21311. How will you code engage? We have 4 letters but 5 digits. If you observe Each letter corresponds to its alphabetical sequence number in the coded value. So engage can be coded as 5 for E, 14 for N, 7 for G, 1 for A, 7 for G, and 5 for E. So it's option B, 5147175. Same or different? Well, they are different. NOLO, NALO. Next. There can be several approaches to solve this type of pattern. Let me focus on the star. It moves in the clockwise direction by a half of the edge. So in the third row, it was at the center of the left edge. It moved by a half edge length, and now it will move again by a half edge length and reach to the center of the top edge, which can be seen only in option D. You can follow any other pattern, you will get the same result. Let me remind you that I'll be arranging several real-time aptitude tests very soon. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Winners will receive some amazing gifts. Next, this is the weirdest question of this test. Feel free to pause. 99% of the candidates think that option E is the most appropriate answer, which is incorrect. Let me show you my explanation and we can have a discussion in the comment section. These are the points to observe. The small triangle is flipped. The diamond remains in the same position. The rhombus is also flipped. And the bigger right triangle converts into an oblique triangle, which is not a right triangle. In option E, the right triangle remains the same, whereas in option C, it gets converted to an oblique triangle. So the answer is option C. Next, same or different? They are different as the letter N is missing on the right side. Next, the salary of Amit is 30% more than that of Varun. Find by what percentage is the salary of Varun less than that of Amit. It's a very good question and here is how to solve. Amit's salary will be 130 if Varun's salary is 100 because it's 30% more than Varun's salary. So if we consider Amit's salary to be 100, then Varun's salary will be how much? 100 times 100 divided by 130, that's equal to 76.93. So Varun's salary is less than this salary of Amit by 23.07%. Another weird question. The top left pic has an outer triangle and an inner triangle and a dark patch. On the right side, everything remains the same except that the patch is removed. Now in the second row, you have an outer square and an inner square. Apply the same logic. On the right side, everything remains the same except that a patch is removed. So it could be option E, where a rectangular patch was removed from the original picture. It's a weird question, but remember, the given data may not always be clean, but your approach has to be very clean every time. Next. Seems to be a very long question, so read it faster and note down if it gives any examples. Thus, 0 is written as I, 1 is written as H, 2 is written as HI, 3 is written as HH, 4 is written as HII, and so on. Which of the following will represent 20% of 45 in that code? So it's clearly following the binary format. Just that instead of 0 and 1, it's using I and H. 20% of 45 is 9. 9 can be written in binary as 1001. So in the given coding system, it can be written as HIIH. By the way, if you don't know what is binary system of numbers, please comment below and I'll make a dedicated video on that. Next, once again a data sufficiency question. How many children are there in the group? Sangeeta has scored more marks than 12 children in the group. Next statement, Reena has scored less than Sangeeta. Together also they are not sufficient because we still can't get the total children count in the group. So it's option E. It's a good question. Pause the video and think logically. The columns in the picture shift towards left side. So the leftmost column gets out of the picture. The other three columns can be seen as shifted to left, and a new column gets added on the right side. Similarly, in the next set, the columns will shift to left, so the first column gets out of the picture. The other three columns shift left, that can be seen in option E, and a new column is appended to the right. Next, the cost of production of a cordless phone set in 2002 was Rs 900 divided between material, labor and overheads in the ratio 3:4:2. If the cordless phone set is marked at a price that gives a 20% profit on the component of price accounted for labor, what is the marked price of the set? A very long question, but it's very easy. The cost of production, that is 900, is in the ratio of 3:4:2. We can easily get the factor of this ratio. 3x plus 4x plus 2x equals 900. The factor is 100. So the pricing for the material, labor and overheads would be 300, 400 and 200. 20% profit on the labor component, that is 80 rupees. So the marked price would be 80 rupees higher than the cost price. So it's option A, 980 rupees. Next, in a certain coding system, 10 is coded as 256 and 60 is coded as 19827. How will you code 16? The first four digits come from this set, so it's 1982, E is 5 and 6 for N. Option C. Next, one more picture problem. The first row and the third row follow exactly the same pattern. So whatever is the third pick in the first row, it's going to be our answer. And it's option C. By the way, the logic here is that the dark and the light diagonals swap their positions in the first and the third picks. Final question of the test. A card is drawn from a pack of 52 cards. The probability of getting a queen of club or a king of heart is. There is only one queen of club and only one king of heart in a pack of 52 cards. So the probability of getting these cards individually is 1/52. That's why the combined probability would be 2/52. That's equal to 1/26. Let's submit the test. I highly encourage you to attend the real-time aptitude tests, which I'll be conducting very soon. You can see your name and marks in the leaderboard, and there will be giveaways for the top scorers. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and don't forget to press the bell icon and select all notifications to receive the updates from my posts and videos. Share this video with your friends and please comment below how many questions you answered correctly.